I'm here to talk about using landing pages to capture all the free search traffic you may be missing out on. So, a lot of people might be saying, do I need search traffic? Does SEO make sense for me? And what you have to think about is SEO is one of a few channels that can provide real scale. Everyone wants to grow viral. I'm sure, Jason, you have every startup you advise want to grow viral. But not every startup can. And SEO is another great way to drive traffic to really grow your startup if you can't do that. So the first question you should be asking is, can I get search engine traffic? Does it make sense for me? And it's not an am I an app or a website question. If you're an app and there's a lot of people searching for what you do, go build some landing pages and get that traffic. What you really want to be asking is, are people searching for what I do? And is it competitive when people search for that? So that if I tried to rank for these certain terms that match what I do as a service, can I reasonably expect to rank? So I have a 2x2 up here, and for those listening at home, the basic gist is the space that I play in for Google competitive or not competitive? And is there a high amount of search volume for the topic that my business is in, or a low amount of search volume? And what you're hoping for is that there is a lot of search volume for what you do, but it's not competitive. This is getting rarer and rarer as more and more startups form. So it tends to happen when an audience starts to come online for the first time, like in emerging markets, or if it's a brand new technology that starts to get adoption very quickly. That said, that's not the only one of these boxes where SEO is interesting. If you have a low amount of search volume, but it's also not competitive, then it can be interesting to own the few searches that you get and get that incoming traffic, and then start to move into higher search volume categories, which typically rely on something like content marketing, because you are trying to expand into the broader industry conversation, things that are less specific to I do this right now, but more associating yourself with an area. If you happen to be in one of those industries where there's a lot of search volume, but it's very competitive, like real estate, for example, it's not a reason to dismay, but for startups who are trying to get something that's working in like a couple weeks or a month, it's more of a long-term strategy. You can't expect to try and compete with Zillow and outrank them in 6 months as a new startup. So you have to play for the long game, and you have to make SEO and landing page strategy really a core competency of the company. When you look at companies like Zillow, Trulia, Redfin, and in a competitive space like real estate, almost their entire company is geared around how they can rank better on Google. The PR team focuses a lot on it. The rest of the marketing team focuses a lot on it, and as well as the engineers, designers, product managers. And that's the type of environment you would have to have. So I don't recommend it for startups, but long-term, very interesting. And of course, if it's a competitive space and no one's searching for it, let your competitors waste their time trying to impress Google. You move on to something else. All right, so the question you should be asking is like, well, how do I know if it's competitive, and how do I know if a lot of people are searching for what I do? For something like Pinterest, Pinterest has content on thousands of different topics, and this is a really hard question to answer. So what we actually did is we looked at what people were searching for on the Pinterest search engine, and then we said, hey, let's look and see if people are searching for those same topics on Google, and if so, can we create landing pages for them? Grubhub might be a better example. So when I worked there, we had to figure out, are people searching for what Grubhub did, which is food delivery, and if so, could we rank? So to answer that question, we tried to say who, what, when, where, and how for our business to answer what kind of keywords people would type in. So here's kind of an example. For those of you listening, who would be obviously the brand, Grubhub, or people searching for it, but also every restaurant that Grubhub covers. The what is all the things that Grubhub does. So food, delivery, every type of cuisine, menus, reviews. When would be any type of time-related keyword that people might be using. So in the case of food-related stuff, it's breakfast, lunch, dinner, and late night. And then geography, part of the where, it was super important for Grubhub. So not just San Francisco, but the neighborhoods like Soma, the colleges like UCSF, the zip codes like 94107, typing all of those in. And then how is usually technology. So in the case of Grubhub, that's online ordering, mobile apps. This tends to not play a big role in keyword, in understanding what keywords are being typed in consumer-based businesses, but in B2B, this actually gets a lot more of the attention. So what you do is you do this brainstorm answering these 5 questions for your business. You kind of mash all of these words together in Excel, and then you go to the Google Keyword Planner and you see, are people actually searching for this? and is it competitive? So this is what the actual Google Keyword Planner is. It's just a giant form. You paste in all of the keywords that you want to see if people are searching for, and then you hit Get Search Volume, and it will tell you average monthly search volume over the last 12 months for all of these terms.
Let me just take a quick moment to thank Scott Ed Walker and the Walker Corporate Law Group for supporting This Week in Startups. The Walker Corporate Law Group is a boutique law firm specializing in the representation of entrepreneurs and startups. And I've personally known Scott for a long time. And a lot of my angel investments use him as their attorney and speak incredibly highly of him. The Walker Corporate Law Group encourages fixed fees, which they believe really helps startups, and I know it does because you don't get that surprise when you get your bill every month. And they believe actually at the Walker Corporate Law Group that billable hours reward inefficiency. They want to get things done, and they want to get it done quickly and efficiently for you. Keep those billable hours actually reasonable so that you can grow your startup and put the capital where it belongs in the product. All of their lawyers have decades of experience. There's no junior associates getting on-the-job training, and they provide tons of services, including M&A, licensing agreements, terms of services, and privacy policies. If you want to talk to the founder himself, Scott Ed Walker, you can call him directly at 415-979-9998. That's 415-979-9998, 979-9998, or you can email him directly, Scott at Walker Corporate Law. Scott at Walker Corporate Law, and you just put in the subject line, Jason sent me. And you can visit walkercorporatelaw.com, and you can follow Scott at Scott Ed Walker on the Twitter. Thanks, Scott, for supporting independent media like This Week in Startups.